Hello everyone, welcome to my channel at Style by Dema. In this tutorial today, I'll be teaching you how to make this lovely skirt I'm putting on. Okay, this skirt can be worn as a casual attire or it can be paired and worn as a corporate attire. Okay, so to start off, I'll go ahead and fold my fabric into two. Alright, after folding, I'm going to mark a straight horizontal line which will be serving as my starting point. All right, now this skirt is going to be having a band of 2 inches, so I'm going to subtract 2 inches, keeping my tape at -2. I'll go down and mark my hip measurement. My hip measures 8 from my waistline. All right, I'll go ahead and mark my hip. I'll make a mark at 8 inches. All right, now the full length, the desired length I want this skirt, I want it to be stop at 20 inches. So I'm going to go ahead also and make a mark at 20 inches for the full length of the skirt. Okay, now I'll also shift my tape and repeat the same thing so that I'll be able to connect it into a horizontal line. I'll make a mark at 20, go up and make a mark also at 8, like so. Okay, still leaving my tape at -2. All right, having done that, the next thing I will do is to come in with my ruler and connect it into a horizontal line. Now after that, what I will do is to place my tape at the closed part of this folded material and take my waist divided by 4. My waist is 28, divided by 4 will give me 7. Having done that, the next thing I will do is to give 1 inch allowance, which I'll be using for my dart intake. Okay, I'll mark 1 inch from the 7. All right, now coming down to my hip, I'll take my hip divided by 4. My hip is 36, divided by 4 will give me 9. I'll go ahead and make a mark at 9 inches. All right, okay, at the hem, at the desired length, what I will do is whatever is your hip, go ahead and subtract 2 from it. My hip I marked 9, so I'll mark 7 down at this line, like so. Okay, now I'll be adding 1.5 inches allowance all through because I'll be turning this skirt with a lining. So go ahead and mark 1.5 inch all through and come in with your pattern master, or you can connect using freehand and connect all the marked line. Okay, like I'm doing in the picture. So I'll go ahead and connect all my marked line, like so. Okay, now the leftover fabric, I'm going to be using it as a facing for the skirt. So what I will go ahead to do is to slant it out. All right, while turning, you'll see how this thing is going to come out. Okay, I'll just slant it. I'll be using it as facing for the skirt so that the lining won't come out when the skirt is worn. So I'll go ahead with my scissors and cut it out and trace out the line and cut it out. All right, now after cutting, what I'm going to do next is to go ahead and mark my dart. I'll take my bust span, that's my nipple to nipple divided by 2. Mine is 3.5. I'll make a mark, and then I'll from that 3.5, I'll come down by 5 inches. That will be the length of my dart. All right, now the next thing, I'll rule it into a straight line. I'll roll it into a straight line. Now from that straight line, go ahead and go out by ½ inch on both sides. ½ inch on both sides, like I'm doing. Okay, I'll go ahead and go out by ½ inch and connect it back using my ruler. I'm going to connect it back to the marked 5 inches. All right, like so. I'll connect it. Okay, so with this we are done. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and trace out the excess before my starting line. It will not be needed, so I'll go ahead and trace it out. Okay, now also fold your skirt as I'm doing and notch your dart intake. Okay, and notch it. All right, now we are done with the front. The next thing we'll do is to come in with a fabric also, which we'll be using for the back. All right, now go ahead, beginning at this closed edge, mark 1.5 inches, which will serve as your zipper allowance. Okay, your zipper intake. I'll go ahead and mark 1.5 all through from the starting point to the down. All right, I'll roll it into a vertical line, like so. Now having done that, the next thing I will do is to just bring in my front pattern and place on top of it, starting from the ruled line. Okay, I'll keep it at the ruled line, place my front part at the rude line and trace out everything. Okay, I'll just trace my hip line and my hemline. All right, then I'll go ahead and cut out following the front pattern that was cut initially. I'll just trace it out on the back pattern like so. Okay, also go ahead and cut the excess at the top. Okay, the front and the back needs to be the same length, of equal length, so I'll trace out the excess. Then you go ahead and open the space left for your zipper. Okay, the skirt, the back part needs to be 2. I'll go ahead and open the zipper part like I'm doing in the video. All right, so with this, I'll fold my zipper intake and notch it. I'll also, using my front as a guide, I'll also fold in the front and back and notch the back like so. All right, now with this, we are done cutting the front and the back pattern. The way you see me folding this fabric is how I'll be folding it to cut my lining. Yes, that's where my lining is going to stop. Then I'll go ahead and place this fabric on a lining, so I'll be able to cut out the lining for the skirt. I'll pin it. Okay, then watch closely to see how I'm going to cut this part. I'll first fold it in like I explained before. The lining doesn't need to be as long as this skirt. Yes, the lining will stop at exactly the desired length of the skirt. Okay, that's where my lining is going to stop. So I'll go ahead and cut. Okay, this first one I'm cutting is for the back. I'll go ahead and cut. All right. Okay, I'll also notch the dart intake using the front and back pattern fabric as a guide. I'll notch. Okay, having done that, I will go ahead and open my lining. Yes, I'll open it. Remember, the back pattern is open, hence the lining also should be open. I'll go ahead and open it. Then I'll separate the back from the front. I'll separate the back from the front like so. Okay, I'll take away the back because we are done drafting it. Then I'll fold another lining which I'll be using to cut my back front lining. I also go ahead and fold it inside like I did in the back lining and cut. Okay, what I'll do now is to open my front pattern and place the lining for it on top of it. I'll go ahead and align the two down parts together like so. Yes, the lining is shorter, but make sure the down parts are aligned together. And first of all, join them together and run a straight stitch first. You can see the way I'm pinning mine. You can go ahead and pin yours. All right. After pinning, you go ahead and run a straight stitch. All right, now I've run my own straight stitch on it. What else I'm going to do is to also drag my lining to touch the upper part of my skirt like so. Okay, you can see the fold. Okay, the part that we left for facing has folded in on its own. All right, okay, so I will now go ahead and pin also and run a straight stitch. Look at the mark I'm making. All right, that's how I'm going to be running a straight stitch using 1/2 inch. All right, go ahead and use 1/2 inches to close it up. Now, having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and turn it over. All right, I'll turn it over. Okay, this is the same thing I'm going to be repeating also at the back part. I'll first of all open it. I'll place my lining on it. Okay, then I'll merge the two down parts together and run a straight stitch. Then after that, I will drag my lining to meet the upper part of the skirt. Yes, Then after doing that, I'll go ahead and pin. All right, I'll also go ahead and close it with half inches. Close the two side with half inches. Go ahead and mark yours and close. So I'll head over to my machine now to stitch. Now I've gone ahead to do the other one off camera, so I'm done turning everything. You can see how neat and how beautiful it's looking. So you can also see the importance of leaving extra fabric after your desired length. Okay, so what I'll do now is to align the two back parts, zipper side facing the zipper. Okay, all right, and go ahead and mark out the, you remember you left 1.5 inches for your zipper allowance. So having turned with lining, it will reduce. So I'll go ahead and mark my 1 inch on this, on the zipper area, like so. Okay, then I'll connect using my ruler. I'll connect it into a straight vertical line. All right, from the desired length, I'll go up by 5 inches. Okay, which will serve for my slit opening. I'll go up by 5 inches. Then from the starting point, also keeping my tape at -2, I'll come down by 6 inches. Yes, that will be the space for my zipper. Then you go ahead and close the middle part like I demonstrated using my hand. Okay, you leave the marked, two marked side open and close the middle part. After that, what I'll be doing is to remove the back pattern so that we'll work on the front. I've gone ahead to cut out a long stripe. Okay, the length of this stripe measures 65 inches. Just go ahead and anything that is your desired length, just multiply it by 3 and use it to cut out your long stripe. Why the width of this stripe measures 7 inches after hemming the necessary parts. Okay, I've gone ahead to hem the necessary parts. Okay, like I'm demonstrating, next thing I will do is to go and make my ruffles into the long stripe into gathers. All right, I've also gone ahead like I'm showing you in this video to hold in my dart. Remember we left space of 1 inches before, so I've gone ahead to hold it and stitch it like so. Okay, in my next tutorial I'll be showing you how to sew in your dart intake. I didn't know that my camera wasn't getting this part. Okay, just follow what I'm demonstrating. You hold it together, then you sew it in. All right, like so. It's very simple. Okay, having done that, I'll now open my front pattern. I'll go ahead and mark 1 inches all through. Okay, that's where I'll be placing my ruffles. Okay, I'll mark 1 inches all through. Remember you left 1.5 inches allowance. Having turned with lining, what will be remaining for you is 1 inch. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark the 1 inches on both sides. Then I'll connect. Okay, you can do it with your free hand like I'm doing, or also connect using your pattern master to make it perfect. All right, so like I'm demonstrating, that's where I'll be placing my ruffles. What I will do is to come down by half inches, which is where I'll be attaching my band. Okay, come down on from the starting point, come down by half inches. All right, then from the desired length, the ending part, go up by 1 inches. I don't want my ruffles to reach to the end. I want it to stop at 1 inch before the desired length. Okay, so like I'm pointing, your ruffles will start below the half inch, on the half inch, and end at the marked one line. Okay, go ahead and place it like I'm demonstrating, front side facing the front part of the skirt, and pin. Okay, so like I said, make sure that the stripe that you cut out is like ×3 of the desired length. You can see how full my ruffles are looking. Okay, so you pin yours. I'll go ahead and pin. Okay, I'll also repeat the same thing at the other side of it. I'll come in with the second ruffles. I'll also pin it at the 1 inches. Now go ahead and stitch it down. Okay, I'm done stitching my hair. You can see how lovely it's looking. So the next thing I'll do is to flip it. I'll flip the ruffles and merge it with the back pattern. Okay, like so. Just watch what I'm doing. Okay, I'll place the front pattern on the back, making sure that the ruffles are inside. Then I'll pin. I'll also go ahead and stitch on top of the first line that I made. Okay, now what I'm doing here is to measure my skirt, the circumference of my skirt, to know the length of the band I'm going to be cutting out. Okay, after measuring, mine gave me 31.5. Yes, after measuring it, I got 31.5. So I'll go ahead and cut a long band measuring 33 inches. It's better you have more than having less. Okay, and the width is 5 inches. I'll also go ahead and iron in half inches on both sides like I did. Okay, so watch closely to see how I'm going to fix this band on my skirt. I'll first of all open the band, the folded half inch, and merge it to my skirt. Okay, like so. Watch closely so you see how I'm going to fix this band. Also make sure that you leave half inches before the beginning of the skirt. Okay, so go ahead and pin it. Okay, now I'm done pinning. So what I'm going to do here is to carefully, remember we folded in half inch, I'll carefully run a straight stitch on the folded half inch. Okay, you open it and you run a straight stitch on it. Okay, I'm done with it here. Okay, watch closely to see how I'm going to be finishing the end of this band. I'm going to be closing it. I'll fold it. I'll fold the band front side facing the front side, leaving the two folded edge to fold inward. Then I will stitch. Okay, please, if you don't understand, go back to the video and look at it very well. Definitely you understand. Okay, so if you open it, this is how lovely this closed edge will be looking. All right, so I'll also go ahead and repeat it at the other end of the band. Okay, like so. Then I'll open. Now after that, you carefully fold it towards the front part so that it will close the stitches you made earlier on. Then pin, carefully pin it. All right, after that, go ahead and stitch it with half inch. Okay, go ahead and stitch it with half inch. All right, so with this we are done with this skirt. The only thing left for us to do now is to fix our zipper allowance. All right, notify me in the comment section if you don't know how to fix your zip. I'll also be doing a tutorial on that in my next video, so I'll go ahead and just demonstrate how I went about fixing this. Okay, so I'll carefully place it like I'm doing in the video. All right, I'll be doing this off camera, but I'll demonstrate a bit here. So I'll carefully place it like I'm doing. I'll pin it and go ahead and stitch. So after stitching it with that, we've come to the end of this tutorial. That was how I was able to achieve the lovely skirt. And yes, this is the final look of the skirt. Okay, please like, comment and share so as to encourage me. Thank you very much.